Yes, we are slightly behind, but we're going to make this a short show because we only have 3 matches to talk about today. Welcome, everybody, to After Action Report, your numbers recap show for all Schmoedown matches to keep you caught up on all the action. For us here at the Call to Action crew, I'm Megs, joined as always by Nat. Nat, this was a short week, but oh my goodness, did we have a couple exciting matches?
Yeah, we definitely had some bangers of some matches. I think it's funny that it's a short week and it's 3 matches. Like it's considered short compared to the other weeks, but yeah, a lot to talk about this week. There's been some people who have definitely impressed me.
Absolutely, and as we were talking about just a couple short matches here, we started that week with an Intergeekdom match with Greg Alba and Saul, and then we had 2 singles matches following that week with our rookies, Griffey Nooms and Jacoby Bancroft, and then a couple competitors that didn't realize we hadn't seen them play each other in singles, but we had Lon Harris and Chance Ellison. So we will be breaking all those down, and our title for this week is Shutout, which starting off with a doozy here with Greg Idris Elba versus Saul. And if you notice what the outcome of this match is, it definitely is a little bit of a shutout. But how did we get to this point? Coming out of this first round, Saul is up by 9-7. He does only miss 1 question, being shy of that perfect round there in that first round. Coming over into round 2, Saul elects to spin first. He spins spinner's choice and very emphatically decides that he's going to take Batman, which he ends up getting 9 out of 10, checking down the multiple choice once on that final question. Again, none too happy about having to do that, but does not give up any steals. Coming over to Greg's spin, he spins away from graphic novels and ends up taking Jurassic Park, where he ends up getting 2 out of 10 available points. He does check down the multiple choice once and gives up 2 2-point steals. He misses that 4th question there in multiple choice, but due to the mathematics, Saul is not given the opportunity to steal because he is then up by 13 points, which gives him the win via KO with a final score of 22-9, where Greg Alba answered 8 of 14 questions for 57% accuracy and scored 43% of 21 available points. And Saul answered 16 of 17 questions for 94% accuracy and scored 88% of 25 available points. Now, a 94% accuracy, 88% PV should be pretty impressive in Intergeekdom, but Saul almost acted like he was offended that he didn't get 100%. Nat, what did you think of the overall differences between these 2 competitors?
I mean, Saul is a perfectionist, and you kind of need to be to compete at the top level of Intergeekdom. I think it's so interesting because these 2 are like polar opposites in their approach to the game. I'm always going to root for Greg Alba, being a long-haired, curly-haired, long-haired Asian person. I've always connected with Greg Alba on a personal level and a deep level, and he's just such a fun competitor to watch. But let's be honest, he was never winning this match. Saul is just so intense. The way he looks at the game, the way he approaches it, he is locked in like unlike anyone I've ever seen before. So if you have like this mismatch of styles, I think more than 9 times out of 10, actually, I think Saul takes this match. But yeah, I mean, it's always great to see Greg Alba compete. But I mean, Saul, he has to check down a multiple choice for 1 question. He gets it right, and he's still offended. He's still upset about having to check down a multiple choice. So that should tell you how intense he is. And I think that kind of attitude fits in perfectly with the rest of the Intergeekdom championship picture. So excited to see his next match.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the contrast between these 2 definitely amplified the differences between these 2. Very good point there. The fact that we had basically polar opposites in competitors here, but Saul definitely seems to be on the warpath to that number one contender shot or a chance to get into the title picture here in the Intergatum League. And so far, he seems to be on his way to that very well. But again, always great to see Greg play. He's always a joy to watch. Guys, as you're tuning in, thanks so much for those of you that are watching live. I pinned our Streamlabs link there at the top. If you guys would like to donate to the channel, please go ahead and do it through that versus Super Chat if you can. And I will be sure to check those as we go along. Yep, they're right there. But we are going to go ahead and shimmy on over to our next match here. And also be sure that you're liking and commenting on these videos as well. We really do appreciate that. But we have another batch of rookies here with Downtown Griffey Nooms from the Finstock Exchange. I had Griffin Newman initially, but I realized that was not what was appropriate, so we shifted it. He is officially Griffey Nooms now, which is just fine by me. Then we have Deal Breaker Jacoby Bancroft from the Stars. Coming into this match, looked to be about what we were expecting. They are tied at 9 coming out of round 1, both of them getting the perfect round plus the bonus. Then we see things start to shift. Nooms defers over to Jacoby, and Jacoby spins away from disaster movies and ends up taking animated, where he comes away with the 6 out of 8 available points, checking down a multiple choice once, and he does give up a 1-point steal, while Griffey ends up taking disaster movies on his first spin, something that Jacoby spun away from initially, and he sweeps that category for the full 8 points, which gives Griffey a gain of 3 points to be up by 3, 18-15, going into the third and final round, where Bancroft hits a 2-pointer in comedies, misses a 3-pointer in westerns, but avoids the TKO by hitting a 5-pointer in Steven Spielberg, where Griffey responds by hitting a 2- and 3-pointer in new releases and disaster movies, again, respectively, which does give him the win with a final score of 23-22, where Griffey Nooms answered 16 of 16 questions for 100% accuracy and scored 100% of 23 available points, where Jacoby Bancroft answered 14 of 16 questions for 88% accuracy and scored 82% of 27 available points. Now, we were talking pre-show a little bit about this, Nat. We know that he is not the full genius behind the madness, but Gucci is more and more looking like a genius for his batch of rookies this year. They are continuing to perform. People are even putting Griffey Nooms in the singles belt talks. What are your thoughts on that?
To the casual fan, I'm putting myself in their shoes, and I don't realize how vital a role Barbarian plays in the Finstock Exchange. I'm looking at Gucci right now as a genius, because he has not missed in drafting these rookies. They are looking so amazing. And to that point, I think that Griffey Nooms also is the total package. He's great at movie trivia. As we've seen in this match, he didn't miss a single question. And also, he has a really, really big personality that I think is perfect for the Schmoedown. I mean, Jacoby Bancroft is a really, really solid player. He played really well this match. But there's not much you can do when your opponent just does not miss, does not check down a multiple choice, does not give you an inch. So I would really like to see Jacoby Bancroft get back into the swing of things, but he just ran into a brick wall in this match, and there's really not much you can do. And also, I really appreciate that you're not dead naming Griffey Nooms here, and you're calling him by his proper name, Griffey Nooms. I appreciate that commitment. But yeah, I definitely could see Griffey Nooms in the title hunt sooner than later. I think he has earned himself to be talked about that way.
Yes, I figured my hosting criteria and my hosting career was on the line if I didn't change that. But anyways, wanted to step back slightly to the previous match. We got a Streamlabs here from Ben Rayner. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Always appreciate seeing you come in here. $10. Hey guys, 3 great matches last week. I can see Saul becoming a strong title belt level competitor for sure. Maybe even going after the belt at Spectacular. We'll see. If he's not putting himself in the title picture here initially, he definitely has himself set up very well to put himself into another tournament that will propel him into that possibility. So we shall see. If he doesn't tie himself up into a number 1 contender match right before the next IG match, we could definitely see him make a run through that and be going for that belt at Spectacular. So, or he has the belt and he's defending at Spectacular. You never know. This IG division is really getting tight.
I have to say the possibilities at IG have me salivating. Could you imagine Saul versus Chandra Dhanapani? Those two would be a conflict of personalities that I would very much like to see. So I'm hoping. I just hope. I do want to see that match. I think. He just brings out a little intensity that just you don't see in a lot of competitors, and I love to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Chandra does have to get past Kalinowski first before we get into that conversation, but it definitely is a fun fan fiction prediction for
could you imagine him versus Kalinowski too? I mean, that's also a great match.
Oh my goodness. And just to piggyback off of that, another person who has also been making a name for himself in the IG League is the Cobra Chance Ellison. While he is not in an IG match this week, we saw him in a singles match against the delinquent Lon Harris. Now, coming into this match, Chance is actually not the favored one in this match. Lon technically had the higher rank inside of this match because he was coming in 1 match above 500, and Chance came into this match with a 500 record. Moving into what we did end up seeing, we have Ellison actually being up by 1, coming out of round 1, able to get a perfect round plus the bonus. Lon got a perfect round but is unable to hit the bonus question, so Chance is up by 1 here, where Chance does decide to spin first. He takes Eddie Murphy on his first spin, where he does sweep the round for the full 8 out of 8 available points. Lon spins away from DreamWorks Animation and ends up with DreamWorks Animation. Some fun commentary there from him and Winston on the wheel itself. But Lon is able to get 4 out of 8 points in there. He does check down to multiple choice once, gives up that 1 point for a steal, as well as a 2-point question steal. So Ellison now goes up by 7 to be up 8. Going into the final round at 20-12, where Lon hits a 2-pointer in action adventure, but misses a 3-pointer in martial arts movies, giving Ellison the win via TKO with a final score of 20-14, where Lon Harris hits and answers 12 of 15 questions for 80% accuracy and scored 64% of 22 available points, while Chance Ellison answered 15 of 15 questions for 100% accuracy and scored 100% of 20 available points. Chance is on a roll. What can I say? Between teams and singles, he is definitely making a bid to be the youngest 2-belt competitor. Mm-hmm. And and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Nat. More than Mike Kalinowski, do we see Chance with the better chance, of being our first 3-belted champion?
I was actually going to bring that up. I think that if you have a belt, Chance Ellison is going to be a problem for you. And at any point, he could be a 3-title champion. He's that well-rounded. He's proven to be a top-tier contender in Inner Geekdom. and obviously his knowledge in singles and teams just is so good. If I I think it's interesting going into this match that Lon was the favorite in terms of record, because if you look at Chance Ellison's record, he's only lost to former champions, except for Liz Shannon Miller, who could easily be a champion one day. So he's only lost to like top tier competitors. And I think his record is extremely misleading. I think he's one of the best competitors in the Schmoedown today. Um, yeah, I mean, we talked about last match how Griffey Newman's got 100%, and there's really not much you can do about it. This is the same story. This is the same situation where Lon Harris played really well, but there's nothing you can do when your opponent doesn't miss. So I definitely could see Chance having 3 bouts eventually. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but he definitely has a really good shot.
Well, let's say, and we were just talking about IG is such a tight and very competitive league right now in division. So it's going to be very tough for him to manage to get all 3, but having 2 is definitely within the realm of possibility for this competitor because he is solid and a threat in all 3 divisions for sure. We'll be seeing him going back to try and get those teams titles back again here later on this month at the Collision, which is going to be really awesome to see. But guys, that was all 3 matches. Again, amazing that only talking about 3 matches is considered a short week, but that is all we had to talk about today. Thank you guys so much, everybody who has joined in live here. If you're coming back in on the replay, again, please make sure that you're hitting like on this video, commenting, and making sure that you are subscribed. We love doing the show. It's a fun little quick recap to make sure you guys are all caught up on everything that's going on in the league, because we're getting a lot of matches this year, and we are none complaining about it, but it can be confusing to keep track of everything. So for all of us here at C2A, this is our way of keeping you guys well informed. Nat, what else is going on the channel for the podcast this week?
I think we have a Twitch Tuesday tomorrow. Unless
we think.
Change, but usually we do. We have Twitch Tuesdays right here. Twitch.tv/call-to-action at 6 Pacific. So check us out over there. We talk about everything and anything. Just hop in the chat and tell us to do stuff. So we'll probably talk about it. I also host a show called No Chill with me and Dylan. And basically it's between 2 friends with the Schmoedown personalities. We don't have ones planned out yet, but one is coming this month. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a good one. In terms of who we're talking about getting, it should be a good one. So keep an eye out for that.
Absolutely. And again, you will be able to catch us back here every week, Mondays, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, talk about all the matches. We have got a couple big matches coming up this week, as well as some pay-per-views coming up as well. So be on the lookout for those. Again, for everybody here at Call to Action Podcast, this has been After Action Report. I am Megs, and we are signing off for now.